time, this time.
Who's got it, did he make him? Why the devil be hating? I'm getting tuned in. I'm not no Freemason. I'm just a nigga trying to free Jason from slaving over a stove, cooking up an occupation. The proclamation wasn't made for no nigga. So fuck color, it's about money, my little brother, and power. The truth stand taller than any tower. So if the world's mine, then it's ours. Come on.
Don't forget your time machine. Get it in, it's gonna make you strong. Get mine. Elevate day to day, cause you never stop.
Yeah.
With time,
Alright.
this time.
Sometimes I be tripping cause I be on a mission. You look in my eyes, but you don't see my vision. So pardon my drive, excuse my ambition. Just wanna live a life that the wealthy are living. My project building, feeling like a prison. My head spinning like the fan on the ceiling. I need a break. Can you relate? Somebody take me to a place where I can elevate.
Don't forget your time machine. Get it in, it's gonna make you strong. Get mine. Elevate day to day, cause you never stop. Keep going. With time, this time.
But as a kid, you make you stronger, you know the phrase. And we done came a long way, but we okay. You got some people that you love and you hope they stay. You get to thinking about the past like those were the days. You get to missing what you lost cause it's not around. Don't look what you ain't got now, come and get you down. Life is too short like an open rap, but we gotta close the chapter. Life is funny, so let go some laughter.
Don't forget your time machine. Get it in, it's gonna make you strong. Get mine. Elevate day to day, cause you never stop. Keep going. With time, this time, this time, this time, this time.
What's up, everybody? We're going to recap last night's fight with Prograis versus Catterall and some other topics when we come right back. Welcome to another episode of Ringwalk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and we are live, and we're going to jump right into these different topics of boxing because I got a decent layout for today's live stream. So let's talk about the situation with Tank Davis. Dan Rafael and a few other sources were alleging that it was a potential chance that the Tank fight in December of this year would not happen due to a venue issue. When I dug in a little deeper just now through Google, they had an article saying this is Tank's response. And his response wasn't long. All he said was, quote unquote, cap. So in other words, it sounds like the fight will still be on, as far as we know, with Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. in mid-December. So if that is what it is, I'll definitely look forward to it, as I am a very, very much so a big fan of Tank Davis. He's one of my favorite fighters in the smaller weight classes. And forgive me too, y'all, because I was a little under the weather, so just bear with me, getting over a little cold. All right, so let's also get into the AJ versus Dubois whole situation. As we all know, AJ was knocked out by Dubois in their fight not long ago. He was knocked out cold in like the fifth round, I believe. So from that point on, news was circulating that, like most of the time AJ does, he doesn't really do a lot of tune-up fights. He goes straight back in normally and fights the same guy. If he lost against him, he'll fight him back to back. Well, in this case, it was being said that he would have an immediate rematch with Daniel Dubois, although there was no rematch clause. Now I see sources saying that the fight is off. That the fight won't be immediately, and that there may be other options that Anthony Joshua will seek. And that is just something that I read on social media, that supposedly Eddie Hearn had said that if AJ does not fight Dubois in an immediate rematch, that he would be fighting or aiming for a match against Tyson Fury. However, Tyson Fury in December will face off in his rematch against Oleksandr Usyk. I personally feel that Usyk will win the rematch, but it won't be easy for sure. I think we'll see the best version of Usyk and the best version of Tyson Fury in December. However, should it happen to be the way I predict, and Fury does come up short and takes a loss, that would be the right time for AJ versus Fury to happen. You would have two fighters who both coming off a loss facing each other, that we have been wanting to see, or at least I have been, since I've been really back into the boxing game as far as me watching boxing, due to my cousin B Bub, shout out to you, who was showing me different stuff with boxing on YouTube, and he piqued my interest again in the sport. So what do you think? Would that be a good thing for AJ to fight Tyson Fury if indeed he were to lose? Would it be smart for AJ to take on Tyson Fury? Or should he go ahead and fight Daniel Dubois first and see what the outcome of that is? I'm kind of up in the air. I personally think that he should maybe fight, if he has a shot at Fury, definitely take that fight first, because it's like, not just with AJ, but just in general, we hear so many people say they're tired of quote unquote rematch clauses. So why are so many people now against the fact that if AJ or Hearn is saying that they might go another route, why is that such a big deal now, when not too long ago the same people were saying they're tired of seeing the same two people fight back to back? Why not get a fresh opponent? If he has a chance to fight a Tyson Fury, or even somebody, a trilogy with Andy Ruiz or something, maybe that'll happen, or a Dillian White rematch, and then eventually get his confidence back. He can work his way back up into a rematch with Daniel Dubois. That's just the way I see it. Okay, so let's also talk about. Oh, well, let me say this too. When it pertains to AJ versus Fury, I do understand that Tyson Fury is the more technical boxer. He's better on the back foot. He has better footwork. He has better ring IQ. He has a lot of that over AJ. I do understand that much, as he had those same attributes over the likes of Deontay Wilder. But I do feel like styles make fights. I do feel like Dubois, just because he beat AJ and knocked him out, I don't necessarily see it going the same way with Fury versus AJ. I feel like Fury's not going to be aggressive. He's not going to come straight in round one like a bull and trying to, you know, throw overhands or do anything that would be risky like Dubois took a chance on doing. I think he's going to be using his jab, trying to fill out, trying to get his range together to line up AJ. And while he's trying to get his range, AJ will also be trying to get his range. I don't see it. I don't see it being a fight where Tyson's going to come straight at him like he did with Deontay Wilder, trying to put AJ on the back foot. I feel like the style we'll see of Tyson Fury will be a lot like we saw against Klitschko, where he was on the back foot moving, and he would, pop, move, pop, move, or whatever. I don't see him coming on the front foot trying to put pressure on AJ because there's so much more AJ can throw back, and everything AJ throws back has a lot of power on it. Because we even saw in that fifth round when AJ was down and it was already, discombobulated from that first round knockdown, he was able to connect two or three right hands on Dubois that kind of knocked off the balance of Daniel Dubois as he stepped back towards the ropes. So I think that would definitely be the consideration of Tyson Fury to not rush AJ and to definitely plan a real smart strategic plan on executing the way he fights somebody like Anthony Joshua. Like I said, I think we will see the same version of Tyson Fury that we saw against Klitschko, or maybe a mixture of the Klitschko / Dillian White, kind of where he's on the back foot, but in spurts he knows when to come forward and be assertive, things like that. So Tyson Fury, I have to give it to him. A very, very smart fighter. Although I'm not a fan of him, I must give him credit on what he does good. That's only fair. I'm not biased. So let me know what you think if that fight were to happen. Fury versus AJ. Although that might be by a long shot if it happens. This year or early 2025. Who do you feel would win? What would your prediction be? How does it go down? I'm a ride with AJ. I'm a loyal fan, so of course I'll say that AJ would stop Fury between mid rounds, 6 rounds to maybe 9 rounds. So between round 7 and 9, I can see AJ stopping Tyson Fury. But let me know in the chat here your predictions. All right, so let's talk about the main events of last night. The light welterweight division, Jack Catterall versus Regis Prograis. Jack Catterall had a warm welcome over there in his home. And you had the guest, Regis Prograis, from here in America, from Louisiana, going over to fight Jack Catterall in his backyard. A very, very good fight, but I do see some of the limitations in Regis Prograis, and that's not to throw any salt there because I do understand he started boxing, I believe, late himself. So a lot of things he's kind of sometimes his timing is off. He has a very awkward stance. He is a southpaw, but there's a lot of times he would do little small things, and Jack Catterall was right on it. If that hand dropped just a little bit, a few inches down, Jack Catterall came with something right over that hand, right over that guard. And he actually clipped Prograis on a few occasions in their fight. After a situation where Prograis had dropped Jack Catterall more like a flash knockdown, I don't believe it really hurt Jack Catterall. But after that, the momentum shift towards the mid rounds throughout the fight, Jack Catterall just kept pressing on the gas and dropped Regis Prograis uh, twice in one round, and then again later on in the fight. Um, so when the scorecards came around in the end of the fight, I definitely had the right man winning, the right guy winning, which was Jack Catterall. However, there are some discrepancies and a few people in somewhat of an uproar. They felt like the Jack Catterall decision, the scorecards were too wide. But at the end of the day, the winner was the right man, Jack Catterall. That being said, Regis Prograis was very gracious in defeat, very respectful to Jack Catterall. He said he felt like he's getting older in the boxing game, so he's going to talk to his team, to his dad, and his trainers to see if he will continue in boxing or will he retire. Um, but he gave a lot of respect to Jack Catterall. Now, Jack Catterall is very, very, very good fighter. Uh, and now you see a lot of things circulating on social media just that fast. Would Jack Catterall take on Tio Fimo Lopez? What do you think about that matchup? It'll probably be in 2025, possibly. So, what do you think about Tio versus Catterall? What would your predictions be? If you're in the chat room, let me know what's up. Jack Catterall versus Teofimo Lopez. Lopez, as we all know, is a good fighter. We've seen him in good fights against the Ukrainian fighter Lomachenko. We saw Lomachenko and Tio in a good fight. So, do you think that Tio has what it takes to beat Catterall? Catterall's pretty slick. Teofimo is a showboat, and he's more of a flashy fighter and a showman. But every now and then in the world of boxing, you need those people with special personalities that are not the average Joe. They're going to come in the ring acting crazy. Their ring walk is going to be kind of crazy where they're doing something that's not the typical. And that's what you see in Teofimo Lopez, which I feel like that's a pretty evenly matched fight, kind of like a 50-50 type fight that it could go either way, much like the fight of last night with Regis Prograis versus Jack Catterall. All right, so also on that same card, we had the junior welterweights, Campbell Hatton, the son of legendary boxer Ricky Hatton, versus Jimmy Joe Flint. Jimmy Joe Flint is somebody I'm not as privy to, but I do plan to, whenever I see a new fighter fight an opponent that I know of, I try to do my background research on that fighter. So I will be looking at more of Jimmy Joe Flint to see his background, his style of fighting, and what he does. Because yesterday he put enough in that ring to win the fight by decision, by a unanimous decision, and somewhat of a back and forth fight. A lot of toe-to-toe action. Ricky Hatton had his good moments when he had Jimmy Joe Flint against the ropes. There were times where you're like, oh man, this could go bad. But then Jimmy Joe Flint, he would retaliate with his barrage of punches. He would dish it back out. He would take some and give some. So pretty much it was a situation where it was a back and forth fight, but the better punches and the person who stepped it up just a little bit more was Jimmy Joe Flint. So let me know what y'all think about that scenario. Is that fight with Jimmy Joe Flint versus Campbell Hatton, is it worthy of a rematch? Is that a fight you will be interested in seeing again? Or do you feel like Jimmy Joe Flint is just too much for Campbell Hatton. What do you think? Let me know in the chat room. Also, let's talk about some. Let's talk about one more fight, just like throwback fights of the past. Um, what is one of your favorite throwback fights? If you grew up, let me know the era. I grew up in mainly in the 80s and 90s. So Mike Tyson was my first hero as far as boxing. But then Holyfield made a name for himself. So when he made a name for himself, I became a fan of Evander Holyfield as well. But Mike Tyson was the first person that I really was like, man, he's that guy. So if you look at your old school fights, maybe of the 90s, I would say like a Ray Mercer versus Evander Holyfield was like a timeless fight. Two guys with great chins, two guys in good boxing condition, two guys that are ex-military guys, and they went to war, man. They went to war. If you get on YouTube, for the younger guys out here who were not born in the 90s, um, or born after the 90s, get on YouTube and watch Evander Holyfield versus um, Ray Mercer. Ray Mercer was in a lot of good classics. Also, look up Lennox Lewis versus Ray Mercer, and let me know what your decision is on that fight. Look at it really, really, really good. I felt like Ray Mercer edged and won that fight. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't no wide in favor of Ray Mercer or and we're gonna wrap this one up today. And I appreciate everybody who's here today watching this. I know some people don't always get to tune in right on cue at the time that it's going on. A lot of you catch it later on because it's different parts of the world. It's different time. In UK, it's probably midnight now, almost 12:30 midnight in UK. So from all you guys around the world, I appreciate the support and everything, and keep tuning in every week because every Sunday, Eastern Standard Time in America, 6 p.m. every week, I'll be doing live streams. So if you put a notification um, reminder in your YouTube, you would also know when the next weekly podcast is going to come up. I'll also be posting it on FB, TikTok, IG, and pretty soon I'll be creating a Twitter to reach out to you boxing fans as well. So as always, I appreciate the love, and I will catch you on the next round. Peace.